Allow me to introduce myself. Who knows what dastardly crime he might perpetrate next?
He's a very clever arch criminal who must be put away. Another innocent victim.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Internet TV. Sorry about that. Just not seeming feeling like myself today. Anyway, you are watching Internet TV, and I am your host, Mr. X. And tonight we're talking about YouTube, the platform. So, there's been some significant changes in the partner program recently, and YouTube just came out and made the guidelines for smaller channels a little bit steeper for them to participate in the monetization program, and a lot of people kind of lost their minds about it. It certainly seems like an act of aggression.
I come home and I pet my dog. You see, petting your dog
Towards the smaller creators on the platform. But again, YouTube is so large and there's so much traffic that flows into YouTube, and they're only growing every single day, that I think if a content creator is serious about what he or she wants to do, there's no stopping them. Regardless what the limitations are that YouTube puts up, whether it's 4,000 hours combined watch time or 1,000 subscribers or whatever the case may be. However, that's not to say that, if they were to increase those indefinitely or make those metrics go higher and higher, it certainly would put some downward momentum on the folks trying to join and trying to gain popularity and trying to take advantage of all the positives that YouTube provides. So I don't think the sky is falling necessarily, but it's definitely disheartening to see YouTube kind of defend their money-making golden cows, such as, Logan Paul and that kind of thing. But on the other hand, YouTube is a corporation and they're in it for the bottom line. And they certainly probably wanted to take caution, with how to proceed as somebody that was doing something so stupid on the platform, such as going to the Japan's suicide forest and blogging about it like a complete idiot, and then to follow it up with an insincere, PSA video. It's just disingenuous, and it's very transparent, and people can see through that kind of thing. And while he may have gained popularity in the long run, and he may be able to shrug off controversy like that, he's a young dude, and he's still got a lot of time to make a lot of mistakes. And at a certain point, people are going to be unforgiving. I, for one, I didn't appreciate his blog. I don't really think or care if he was trying to introduce awareness. I thought the topic was treated with so much disrespect for, as everybody knows, clicks, notoriety, and views. And it's just kind of disgusting at the end of the day that there not only is an audience for that, but he followed it up with tasing a dead rat.
Most illogical reaction.
And what the thought process was after going through all those two videos about Japan and his follow-up, and then what made him think that would be a great idea. And to me, the sickest thing is his low gang, they support him regardless of what he does.
What are you people? On dope?
And it just boggles my mind that there are young people or children that want to emulate him. And I get it, he's a young dude, and he's got money, and he's got all these different things, the house and the cars, and he blogs, and he's certainly, quote, cool. But it's just the, maybe it's a kiddie thing. I don't think Logan Paul, I don't think he's got longevity. I think in 3 to 5 years, I don't think people will even remember who Logan Paul is. That's just the way the internet works. Maybe not maybe he'll get his shit together, and maybe he'll be just as relevant as he is right now. But something tells me that's not necessarily the case. But interestingly enough, one of the things that really interests me about Logan Paul and his notoriety and his rise to fame is his affiliation with Disney. As we all know, Disney seems to just put out the best talent, bullshit, well-adjusted human beings. Insert sarcasm right there. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. Disney the brand, I don't necessarily like, and I don't entirely trust. I wouldn't let my children consume a lot of Disney. I would rather have them consume some other type of media. There's just too many questions with that particular company and the kind of talent that they foster and they put out. So anyway, back to YouTube. The people that have already made it on the platform, they might have to readjust their strategy as far as what they're doing on there. It's just, for me, one of the things that really hinders their ability to sustain their audience, sustain it or grow it, is the reluctance to let people speak freely, and everything's got to be this sanitized, family friendly nugget, with whether it's knowledge or a tutorial or something like that. And it's just that will make the platform just so lifeless.
He's dead.
And it will drain the energy out of what people are trying to accomplish, myself included. And that's the thing. I've consumed a lot of YouTube. I've looked at Sargon's channel and Markiplier and PewDiePie and Lacey Green and Chris Reagan and all these different personalities on the platform, and some of them are conflicting, and I pride myself in not necessarily taking a camp. I try not to choose sides when it comes to some of the ideas that they're pushing. But frankly, some of it, the stuff I don't necessarily agree with either. I think there's been, it's just too easy to target people talking out of their bedrooms and just ridicule them into the ground, and make them either quit the platform or something else more drastic. Is that what your channel should be all about, is punching down? Again, I'm not trying to sound uppity. I have a moral better standing than you, but there's an audience for that kind of thing too. But on the other hand, for smaller creators, and I think that's a lot of the folks that were taking exception with the moves that were made by YouTube, again, it's not necessarily an insurmountable roadblock for folks.
Of course!
Yeah, it's a little daunting when you're just starting out and you're figuring out how to get your feet wet and how to grow to your audience. Hell, how to even reach your audience. Those metrics can seem almost unattainable. And and the thing is with YouTube, there is that, igniting the fire, viral factor. Some channels blow up faster than others, if at all. But again, that's kind of the mercy of the internet. That's kind of the way the internet works. It picks and chooses, what's going to be escalated and what won't. So unfortunately, not everybody can make it. Well, that's not to say if you're targeting a particular niche, you can make it, and if you're satisfied with that particular niche, that's great. A lot of people have the ultimate goal, millions and millions of subscribers.
100 billion.
And while that's certainly attainable, I think it just takes time and understanding and dedication to the craft. And that's what I've heard a lot of people kind of parrot that same thing. If you're passionate about what you're doing, it shouldn't be a roadblock. So the future of YouTube, who knows? It's just with YouTube and that particular platform, they're so fucking large, and it's kind of hard to deal with. You know, they have the stranglehold and they have the monopoly on the video sharing platform. Yeah, well, there may be competitors and there may be, you know, other entities that are trying to emulate or build platforms that are similar, but by and large, YouTube's got a stranglehold on that particular function on the interwebs. So it takes a lot to not only undermine YouTube, but at least reverse the thinking that people have. Is when they think video online, they usually think YouTube, and that takes a lot of work. You know, YouTube was bought by Google in 2006, and it was one of the best business decisions of the last 10 years, in my opinion. You know, not only does Google have the monopoly on search and information retrieval, but they also have a monopoly on video and content online too. It's a double whammy. Puts them in a great position. It put them in a great position in 2006, and it's only gotten better for them. You know, if YouTube can do a better job of policing their platform as far as content that they don't want to show up, as far as terrorist videos or videos that are being marketed to children that are utterly horrifying, or other basically trash on their platform, they've got to do a better job of policing what comes online. And they have made the right moves. They've hired engineers and they've put an effort towards preventing these kinds of things. But on the other hand, they've been banking for so many years. It's kind of hard to trust them, where it seems like, you know, this is all retroactively, or this is knee-jerk reactions to the criticisms coming from things like Logan Paul and other sources of, you know, criticism, whether it's terrorism or what other content is unacceptable. You know, and it's egregious because they, especially if they were willing to run ads and they were doing such a poor job of understanding what kind of content was actually coming through their platform. It's just a sad state of affairs. You know, the Frankenstein has gotten so out of control, and here we are in 2018. You know, they're just implementing new standards for smaller creators and just crushing some of them right out of the game. But again, you know, I do think that if you are passionate enough and you persevere long enough and you push through, and you don't necessarily rely on YouTube as the end all be all as far as the platform. That's exactly what it is. I think it's more of a tool than it is a destination. You know, you can use YouTube to accomplish goals on that platform, but at the same time diversify and get involved in other things. And I think a lot of people have finally understood this, where, you know, YouTube's kind of what's good for the goose is good for the gander mentality, and they're gonna foster and support a bunch of fucking boneheads and put it to the smaller creators. But what can we do? Like I said, keep doing what you do. There's nothing stopping you from creating the kind of content that you want to create. Upload it and enjoy your community, and that's really the biggest thing, you know. I'll refute punks like Logan Paul and the commercialism and all that kind of bullshit. It's one of the strongest things we can do at this point on YouTube. And I think everybody's kind of in the same boat with that. I don't think that's groundbreaking. I don't think, you know, you probably haven't heard that before. But this is just my 2 cents. Anyway, guys, I've rambled long enough. This has been Sunday Night Silliness, and my name is Mr. X, and you have been tuned into Internet TV. If you like this podcast, please consider subscribing. If you like this video, please leave a like. And as always, I want to hear what you have to say, so go ahead and sound off in the comments. My name is Mr. X, and I'm Audi 5000.